EA has to change these 6 things to make F123 worth buying. So F123 has just been announced and we've got no details whatsoever apart from that it'll be called F123. So I thought I'd make a video both on the 6 things that I think they have to change and also on some of the rumours. So let's get into those. First of all, the rumours are that it's going to be on all the same platforms as F122 was, including the last generation of consoles, but it's maybe the last F1 game that's on the older generation of consoles. That's because the rumour is they're going to be doing a whole new game engine for next year's F124 game, which will inevitably drop support for the older platforms. Another rumour is that story mode is back. Of course, F1 2021 saw the introduction of the story mode to the F1 franchise for the first time, and the rumour is that a story mode is back. We don't know if it'll be a continuation of the previous. I just hope that it's maybe a bit less linear so that you can have different results and it's still kind of maybe force you down a different route or has a different cutscene based on if you got maybe a podium instead of a win or whatever it may be. But still, I don't know, I quite enjoyed the story mode. It was a single play thing, but it was worth, you know, 10 hours or so of my time. Also expect all of the main game modes to be retained for F123. Of course, that includes all the career modes of My Team, Driver career and 2-player career. Obviously, online mode, Grand Prix mode, time trial mode. I'll be amazed if they drop any of those. Although, unfortunately, I also suspect they'll keep F1 Life on. Hopefully, they don't spend too much time on it because I don't think it was that much of a popular feature last year. But I don't mind it. As an introduction to the game, it's okay. I just don't want them spending a lot of their development resource on that feature. Of course, there is 2 brand new tracks on the F1 2023 calendar. So expect to see both of those in. That's both Qatar and Las Vegas. Interestingly, they should be released, hopefully, quite a long time before the actual races happen in October and November, respectively. So it'd be good to drive them way before the F1 drivers get to drive them in real life. The final rumour then is, of course, the release date. Now, the rumour is that this is going to be a little bit earlier than it was last year. I would expect something like middle of June, maybe the 16th of June over the Canadian Grand Prix weekend. That's because they're trying to get the release date earlier and earlier in the season. Obviously, they can only get it so early because they have to be able to see the liveries and performance of the car. But yeah, they're trying to edge it earlier, so 2 weeks earlier than last year. That could be possible, but again, that is just pretty much guesstimates. On to the 6 things then that I think EA has to change for F123 to be worth buying then. The first one is less bugs. Not a big surprise here, F122 was one of the buggiest games, in fact, the buggiest game that they've ever made, barring F1 2015, which was the only game to see a brand new game engine introduced in the franchise. So honestly, it's awful. It feels like it got worse over time with patches. They added new bugs.
They're not going to change the wing. Oh my God.
Something's a little bit wrong there. And for me, it's a big concern because I don't think it's a big concern for them. The reason I think it's a big concern is because there's lots and lots of little bugs. There's no real game-breaking bugs where you can't launch the game as far as I'm aware. But there's just lots of little annoying bugs that just make you just not want to play the game anymore. Especially if you see content creators, you know, experiencing these bugs. That's not a good advert to go and either buy the game or if you've already bought it to go and play it. I really think the bug situation, the game's always been a bit buggy, but I think it really has become a big issue for F122. And honestly, if they don't fix a lot of the bugs for F123, I will be bitterly disappointed and I won't be recommending you buying the game. The second thing that I think EA has to fix for F123 then is the crashy AI. Now, the AI is the worst it's been in F122. For the most part, they race pretty well, but for some reason they've coded them so that if you go up there inside, they just turn in on you. Essentially what they're doing is they're punishing the sort of overtakes that we love to see in real life. The super late braking moves where you just fly up the inside and okay, you don't squeeze the other driver off, but it's a massive late send and it's honestly the best moves that we see in real life. They're just not possible in the F1 game. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see the AI jumping out of the way as soon as a player decides to go for it. But they just pretend you're not there a lot of the time and it causes lots of crashes and it's not a fun way of going racing, especially you know they're going to do it. So then you're caught between, well, do I send it anyway and know they're going to turn in on me so we're going to have a crash? Or do I just sit behind them forever? Either choice isn't very fun. For me, the AI isn't fundamentally bad. There's just a few behaviors like that. Also, things like they tend to get in your way on hot laps and things like that. They're battling with each other, sometimes a bit too slow. It's sort of minor behavioural things that they've always introduced in order to try and make them a bit harder to race. But in my opinion, they've just gone a bit far. So hopefully we see a good evolution of the AI for F123. Third thing I want to see changed for F123 then is the handling. Now, I actually quite like the handling in F122. I have to say, I've always quite liked it. I think it is very tricky. It's very easy to spin out. I've personally always quite enjoyed it, but I am in the minority there. There's a lot of people, including F1 esports drivers, that just say the handling is just not quite there. You know, it's a bit too critical F1 traction is the main issue. Once you get some wheel spin, it's really hard to recover it, and it just loses you so much time. And it's just not what we see in real life. We see real life, the F1 cars tend to go full throttle in, third gear, but you just can't do that in the F1 game. So hopefully we get a bit of an overhaul with the handling. I don't want to see it change night and day. Let's be realistic. It's not going to be made a full sim. It also shouldn't go full arcade. It's always be somewhere in the middle there to try and appeal to all audiences, which honestly I like. I like that it's a bit of a forgiving handling model and it's not a full-on raging simulator. There's enough of those out there. If you want that, go and play Assetto Corsa or iRacing or R Factor. F1 is supposed to be that middle ground, and I always quite like the handling. So hopefully they don't completely change it. But if they can evolve it, make traction, you know, a little bit more predictable, perhaps make the curves a bit more grippy, just try and bring it a bit closer to real life without making it full-on sim. The fourth thing that I'd like to see them change then is I'd like to see them overhaul a game mode. Now, I've already mentioned that they will probably add story mode back into the game, but I'd like to see them overhaul an existing game mode, whether that be My Team Career, two-player career, even online. One of the main game modes, I want to see a big change in it so that it's massively improved. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we will. If we do get a new game engine for next year, that will be their priority. They're not going to want to make a big change in the game engine that's in its last year of the title. It's just unlikely to happen. So hopefully we see at least tweaks, you know, something like My Team needs rebalancing with the upgrades or the facilities or the money, or online. Obviously, there's many issues with online. I'd love to see that completely overhauled so that you can have more casual open lobbies without needing to realistically join a streamer's lobby. Hopefully, one of the existing game modes gets an overhaul. The fifth thing I'd like to see added for F1 23 is more special events. They sprung a surprise on us by adding the elimination mode, which I think was added in December, which actually even introduced new penalty systems and things. It was quite a surprise. Nobody expected it that late in the game cycle, but it was a welcome addition. It was fun. It was, you know, you had to be aggressive to get to the front. It was genuinely a fun game mode. I'd love to see perhaps a new game mode per month, or at least 3 or 4 game modes introduced throughout the game cycle, just to help keep it fresh. You know, there's plenty of ideas out there that they can introduce. They are restricted, of course, by the F1 license. There's only certain things they could do. For example, Destruction Derby would always just be a no-go under the F1 license. But look, just add some game modes, add some extra life to the game, especially later in the cycle. That'd be awesome to see. And the sixth and final thing then that I think EA has to do for F1 23 is add an anti-cheat. Now, I've actually got a video coming up on this very, very soon. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But cheating is becoming quite a big thing, and there's lots and lots of accusations and rumors flying around of even cheating in F1 esports. And for me, this is something they have to get on top of. You know, if their solution is just to use a LAN event, well, okay, that is a solution for F1 esports only. But what are all the leagues out there? You know, there's thousands and thousands of people that love to race competitively in leagues, and when cheating is as easy as it is now, and as undetectable as it is now, it just takes the fun out of it. You know, although it's not a sim, it's still a competitive game. It's racing, of course it's competitive. You have to be confident that your rivals aren't cheating in order for it to be fun. Otherwise, if you're getting beaten, even if the person isn't cheating, if you're getting beaten by a faster driver, you're thinking, oh, he's cheating, and it makes you not want to play the game anymore. It's a huge issue. They have to get on top of it. I don't know if they will get on top of it for release, but for me, at the very least, there needs to be some sort of anti-cheat in a patch. If we don't see no anti-cheat at all on F1 23, I'll be very disappointed, and I suspect esports will see a big issue with that. There we go then, guys. That is the 6 things that I think EA has to add in order for F1 23 to be a success. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about them, and also let me know if you've got any of your own that are absolutely immovable. You have to have it added in order for you to buy F1 23. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. As I said, I've got the cheating video coming up very soon, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.